Sorry about that, guys. My phone rang mid cast, so this one is going to be a two-part. And here we go. As I was saying before, the Protoss army is looking pretty good at this point with this many immortals. That's 10 immortals. That's going to provide so much tanking power. And the Terran is actually maxed, so even though he does have the 3 Tech Lab barracks and the Ghost Academy ready, he can't actually add any ghosts right now. So it's probably advisable that he sacrifices some of his supply here, maybe these Marines, maybe a few SCVs just because he is mined out at his main, so they are just kind of hanging around with his army at this point. And looks like the Terran is going to try and secure a 4th base here, and I wonder how this is going to go because, oh, actually, nice job by the Protoss. He's going to put some Templars in his Warp Prism to prevent them from getting EMP'd altogether. And it does look like the Terran is peeling off a few Marines here to try and make a little bit of use of them. Maybe denying some pylons as well as sacrificing them would be pretty nice because he will have the ability to add a bunch of ghosts here. 2 ghosts have been added, but ideally you probably want to have around 5, especially with this much stuff to EMP. For the Terran to really get a favorable engagement, he will probably have to EMP all the Immortals as well as reduce the amount of storms or feedbacks that the High Templars are going to get off. But yeah, 3-3 it has started for the Terran here, and yeah, I feel like this is a problem with this map and trying to go mech against Protoss. The Protoss' army is just a lot more mobile, especially with this many Blink Stalkers around. Peeling them off and hitting the 4th while hitting the natural with the rest of your units can be pretty strong, and the Protoss looks like he's going to move up this ramp. This could be a big mistake here. A lot of some sick storms landing from the Templars from the on the high ground, but sick EMPs landing on the majority of this army here, and these Widow Mines as well, preventing a lot of the Stalkers from moving into the splash radius of these tanks, trying to do some friendly damage. So the Protoss does get deflected here, but the problem is the Protoss is now on 5 bases. The gas income is just so insane for the Protoss right now, and the Terran really either needs to go all in right now, or he needs to try and secure 4th base and try and play it on. Looks like the Protoss is going to try and go into this again. EMPs do land on the majority of the Immortals now, but most of the Terran army has been cleared away. No observer though to try and spot these Widow Mines. So these Widow Mines are getting nice hits off onto the Immortals now, and so the Immortals do get cleaned up. But I feel like the Protoss at this point is pretty happy with that trade, and even trade like that is pretty favorable, especially because he is mining from 2 extra bases, and oh, he's gonna get the 4th command center, which is floating alone over here. And HTOMario, he does have a supply lead, but I feel like with the Protoss on this much production, by the time he pushes across the map, the Protoss will probably be remaxed. The good thing though is that the Protoss is resupplying with a lot of Stalkers, and Stalkers just aren't that great against tanks as well as the Widow Mines here. And with the ability for the Hellbats over here to tank a lot of damage from the Stalkers, this could give Mario a chance to claw his way back into this game. Maybe he should just forget about getting a 4th base altogether, but looks like, wow, this is really nice moves from the Protoss here. Warping in a lot of Zealots, some DTs, bringing along an Immortal to do some damage at the 3rd, forces the Terran to pull back, and the Stalkers looks like they do escape pretty much unscathed here. And look at this, the Terran is just pretty much mined out now, and unless he can secure a 4th and 5th base sometime soon, he really needs to go and attack. Looks like the Terran is going to leave a bunch of Widow Mines here at the 3rd and try and move out now, but ooh, the Protoss Stalkers do move in, losing 1 before they blink out, not too big of a problem at all. Oh, and some nice Widow Mine hits, denying a lot of the army there to try and do more damage to the mineral line. But at this point I feel like, yeah, the Terran has run out of his bank, and not much more to mine in his natural ore main, or the 3rd, I mean. I feel like the Protoss should feel pretty good now. He just needs to keep the Terran contained to 3 bases, not allow him to get a 4th base, and slowly pick away at the army, because at this rate the Terran is going to run out of steam pretty soon. The army composition though is really nice, and with this many SCVs, he could perhaps pull a miracle here. But yeah, the Protoss just needs to keep picking away, blinking away, and building up his big army back at home. Adding Colossus now to add some more DPS against the Hellbats, clearing them out early on in the battle would be pretty good for the Protoss because the rest of the army really needs tanking, other units to tank for it to dish out a lot of damage, and especially with this many SCVs as well. How many SCVs does he have? He has 21 SCVs with his army, and that's going to provide a lot of repairing. But yeah, I feel like the Storms and Colossus are just going to be so good against this. Scanning a lot here to see what kind of composition that the Protoss has. Looks like the Stalkers might try and counterattack into the third, but I feel like that would work in the favor of the Terran just because he doesn't need that third anymore. It's pretty much mined out. Looks like the Stalkers are going to pull back, and if the Protoss can get some sick flanks over here, nice time warp, preventing all these Hellbats from getting onto the front, and Storm's landing all over the light units here. EMP's landing, but and the Stalkers from the back picking off the straggling Thors and tanks. I feel like the Terran is definitely going to run out of steam now. Ravens are here, so those DTs do get denied, though. But yeah, with the supplies dropping down drastically for the Terran with only this much left, I feel like, yeah, GG gets called out by HTOMario. And I missed this, but Zealot run by into the main as well, doing way too much damage to the infrastructure. Really nice play by Jimmy, the Protoss here, really denying that fourth base for the Terran, just securing his own bases, using the Blink Stalkers, splitting his army nicely, coming over here with the Blink Stalkers while warping in Zealots and sending Immortals to the third. Really just, the Terran had no choice but to leave some of his units behind, these middle mines, I mean. And yeah, I feel like that's the problem of playing mech against Protoss. The mobility and the ability for the Protoss to secure bases while he denies yours is just too great. And yeah, that was a pretty good game though, nonetheless. Watching losses like these is pretty useful when exploring new compositions, just because, I mean, it's pretty easy to know the strengths, but knowing the weaknesses is definitely a lot more important because you have to try and compensate for them. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys next time.